Ever wondered what happens when people try to outsmart the police? Sometimes they pick the wrong cops. These aren't just any officers, they're legends with decades of experience and skills straight out of a movie. Today, we're counting down 7 wild moments when people messed with the wrong officers and instantly regretted it. We've recreated these insane, hilarious encounters in full claymation detail just for you. From fake IDs to high-speed chases, these stories are absolutely crazy. Let's dive in. Our first story is a classic, where overconfidence collides headfirst with a cop whose experience is the stuff of local legend. This isn't just any night out, it's the kind of night that becomes a cautionary tale for years to come. Meet Kevin. He's just turned 19, but tonight, with a brand new fake ID burning a hole in his pocket, he feels unstoppable. The city's hottest club glows in the distance, and Kevin's convinced he's about to make memories he'll never forget. But fate has other plans. Standing at the velvet rope is off-duty Sergeant Miller, a 25-year police veteran, known for his sharp eye and even sharper wit. Miller's seen every trick in the book, from laughable fakes to near-perfect forgeries. Kevin, brimming with bravado, hands over his ID with a cocky grin, certain he's about to breeze right in. Miller barely needs a second. He feels the flimsy plastic, spots the peeling corner, and notes the off-color hologram. It's amateur hour, and Miller's seen it all before. But instead of just tossing Kevin out, Miller decides to have a little fun. He's not just a gatekeeper tonight, he's about to become Kevin's worst nightmare and best teacher. "All right, Kevin from Ohio, what's the state capital?" Miller asks, his voice calm but eyes twinkling. Kevin freezes, sweat beading on his brow. Cleveland?" he stammers, hoping for a lucky guess. Miller shakes his head, barely hiding a smirk. "Nope, it's Columbus. How about the state bird?" Kevin's confidence is fading fast. "Blue Jay?" he mumbles, voice barely above a whisper. The crowd at the door starts to snicker, sensing the shift in power. Miller isn't done. He fires off questions about Ohio's zip codes, license plate mottos, and even the governor's name. Each wrong answer draws more laughter, and Kevin's swagger evaporates. With every fumble, Kevin's bravado crumbles. The once confident strut is replaced by shuffling feet and a red face. The lesson is sinking in, and the humiliation is real. Miller isn't just catching a fake, he's dismantling the entire act, brick by brick, in front of an amused audience. It's a masterclass in humility, and Kevin is the unwilling star. Finally, Miller hands back the battered ID. "Worst fake I've seen all year. Go home, read a geography book, and maybe try honesty next time," he says, voice stern, but not unkind. Kevin slinks away, cheeks burning, his dreams of a wild night replaced by the sting of public embarrassment. He's been outsmarted, outclassed, and thoroughly schooled. Miller stands tall, the undisputed guardian of the club's door, while Kevin disappears into the night, a little wiser and a lot more humble. The lesson? When you try to bluff your way past a legend, you're bound to get more than you bargained for. And sometimes the best stories are the ones you wish you could forget. Next up, a car thief learns the hard way that it's not the car that makes the getaway. It's the driver behind the wheel. This is the story of Ricky, a small-time crook with big dreams and an even bigger ego. One night, Ricky spots a high-end sports car gleaming under the streetlights. He can't resist. With a few quick moves, he's behind the wheel, heart pounding, convinced that with this much horsepower, he's untouchable. He floors it, tires screeching, and rockets out of the lot, already picturing his escape on the evening news. But Ricky's luck runs out fast. Officer Davis, a legend in the department and a former stunt driver, is on patrol tonight. The moment she hears the call, she's in pursuit, her eyes narrowing with focus. Davis is the kind of cop who never breaks a sweat. She's calm, collected, and knows every trick in the book, plus a few she invented herself. She checks her mirrors, gauges the traffic, and settles in for the chase. Ricky weaves through traffic, darting between cars and running red lights, thinking he can shake her off. But Davis is glued to his bumper, anticipating every wild move he makes. She's reading him like an open book, never more than a car length behind. Sweat beads on Ricky's forehead as he glances in the rearview mirror. In a panic, he takes a sharp exit, hoping the city's maze of streets will finally give him the edge he needs. But that's his biggest mistake, because these city streets are Davis's playground. She's chased down more crooks here than he can count, and she knows every shortcut, every pothole, every blind corner. Ricky tries to take a tight corner at full speed, but the car fishtails wildly. He overcorrects, tires screeching, and suddenly he's lost control. The The city that was supposed to save him is now working against him. Davis sees her chance. With perfect timing, she executes a textbook pit maneuver, tapping Ricky's bumper and sending the stolen car spinning out in a cloud of smoke and rubber. Within seconds, backup arrives. Police cars box Ricky in from every side, lights flashing and sirens blaring. There's nowhere left to run. Ricky sits frozen in the driver's seat, stunned and wide-eyed, finally realizing he's been completely outclassed by a true professional. Officer Davis steps out, cool as ever, sunglasses on, and leans in with a smirk. "Looks like your movie's over. License and registration?" she quips, barely hiding her amusement. Ricky's joyride ends not with a bang, but with a whimper and a pair of handcuffs. His dreams of a cinematic escape are over. He had the faster car, but she had the skills, the experience, and the last laugh. In the end, it's not about horsepower. It's about who's got the nerve and the know-how to cross the finish line. Internet pranksters Chad and Brad decide to stage a fake mugging for their channel. Their victim, off-duty Special Forces Sergeant Evans, quietly reading on a park bench. Brad, in a ski mask, points a toy gun and demands a wallet. Evans doesn't flinch. He instantly disarms Brad, pins him to the ground and immobilizes him in seconds. Chad jumps out yelling, "It's a prank!" But Evans isn't amused. "You point something that looks like a weapon, you better be ready for consequences," he warns. The pranksters apologize, realizing they've messed with the wrong guy. Evans gives them a stern lecture on situational awareness and the dangers of their stunt. Chad and Brad delete their channel that day, having learned the hard way that pranking the wrong person can go from funny to terrifying in a heartbeat. In today's world, some people just can't resist the urge to show off online, even when it comes to their crimes. For them, social media isn't just a place to connect with friends or share vacation photos, it's a stage, and they're the star of their own outrageous show, desperate for likes, comments, and attention, no matter the consequences. Meet Flexmaster Flex, a self-proclaimed legend in his own mind. After shoplifting a pile of expensive electronics, he can't help but snap a flashy photo of his loot. He posts it straight to Instagram, tagging his city, adding a string of boastful hashtags, and bragging to his followers about his big score. He even throws in a few emojis for good measure, convinced he's untouchable. Flexmaster Flex is sure the police are too old school to ever catch up with him. He laughs at the idea of getting caught, thinking he's always one step ahead, and mocks the authorities in his captions. But what Flex doesn't know is that the police have their own social media expert. Enter Detective Chen, the department's new cybercrime specialist, who's as tech-savvy as they come and always on the lookout for digital slip-ups. Detective Chen quickly stumbles upon Flex's not-so-subtle Instagram post. The evidence is all there. Photos of the stolen goods, his face grinning in the background, his house visible through the window, and, unbelievably, even his license plate in the driveway. With every detail he shares, Flexmaster Flex basically creates a digital map that leads straight to his front door, making the detective's job almost too easy. Detective Chen gathers all the evidence, secures a warrant, and assembles her team. They prepare for the arrest, knowing exactly where to go and what to look for, thanks to Flex's online oversharing. When Flexmaster Flex opens his door, he's completely stunned to see the police standing there, especially when Detective Chen holds up her phone, displaying his incriminating Instagram post for all to see. He's arrested on the spot, surrounded by the very electronics he flaunted online, realizing too late that his need for attention was his downfall. The lesson? In the digital age, bragging about your crimes online isn't just foolish, it's the fastest way to get caught. Sometimes the biggest mistake is thinking no one's watching. Some criminals think they're geniuses at hiding things, until they meet a cop with eagle eyes. Officer Ramirez pulls over a nervous driver for a broken taillight. The car is spotless, almost too spotless. Ramirez notices a tiny mismatched scratch on the center console seam, recently covered with marker. His experience tells him, hidden compartment. He asks to search the car. The driver, overconfident, agrees. Ramirez goes straight to the scratch, presses, and a secret compartment pops open, full of drugs and cash. The driver is stunned, his perfect hiding spot exposed by a single scratch. Ramirez's attention to detail turns a routine stop into a major bust. Sometimes the smallest clue is all it takes to unravel the biggest secret. Making a fake 911 call is not just dumb, it's a crime. Bob, feuding with his neighbor, calls in a fake hostage situation using a burner phone. SWAT descends on the neighborhood, but veteran officers Captain Wallace and Sergeant Kim sense something's off. The call is too detailed, too theatrical. Kim traces the burner's signal to a cluster of houses, one of them Bob's. Meanwhile, the hostage neighbor is calmly watching TV, confirming the hoax. Kim's tech skills and Wallace's instincts narrow it down. Officers knock on Bob's door. He tries to play innocent, but Kim's signal detector lights up. The burner phone is found under his couch. Bob's revenge plan backfires. He ends up in handcuffs, exposed by the very technology he thought would protect him. Our final story: a criminal thinks a cheap disguise will make him invisible. The master of disguise shaves his head, grows a mustache, and dons thick glasses, convinced he's unrecognizable. He strolls past Officer O'Malley, who's known for her photographic memory. She instantly notices the familiar jawline, ears, and walk. O'Malley checks the most wanted list, mentally removes the disguise, and confirms it's him. She radios for backup, calmly tails him, and soon he's surrounded. "Can I see some ID?" she asks. He knows he's caught. His disguise fails spectacularly, because a true identity is more than just hair and glasses. That's a wrap on 7 people who thought they could outsmart the police, and failed spectacularly. From fake IDs to failed disguises, these stories prove crime doesn't pay when you're up against the best. These officers use sharp instincts and unique skills to turn the tables. Never underestimate the person in uniform. They see more in a shift than most do in a year. Hopefully we can all learn from these mistakes without getting arrested. Remember, you never know who you're dealing with, especially when it comes to the police. If you enjoyed these stories, hit like and subscribe for more wild moments. Let us know in the comments which story was your favorite. Thanks for watching.